Tio, I woke up this morning, checked the Madrid news, and I genuinely had to put my phone down and go make a coffee before I could process it all. Bellingham in London, Mbappé with a French surgeon, Mastantuono suspended. This club is a soap opera right now.
And yet, somehow, we still have a game on Friday. Celta Vigo, at home, 4 points behind Barca, so we don't really have the luxury of just sitting here and processing our feelings, do we?
Let's start with Mastantuono because, honestly, the fan reaction to this one has been fascinating. 2-game ban for dissent to a referee, and the committee rejected Madrid's appeal. And the fans, look, they're not even that angry at the committee. They're angry at Franco.
Which is interesting, because a few weeks ago, this kid could do no wrong. Now you're seeing comments like, he's been here 5 minutes and he's already collecting suspensions like stickers. The honeymoon is very much over.
One fan on the Madrid subreddit, and I thought this was sharp, wrote, Mastantuono is 17 years old and already has the Galactico disease. Talent, entitlement, and zero filter. Que barbaridad, 17 years old and already getting that label.
The Marca piece on it says he's repeating the same pattern, the dissent, the attitude with referees, and that's what's worrying people. It's not one incident, it's a habit. And look, I have some sympathy. He's a teenager in a pressure cooker environment, but the timing could not be worse.
Because with Camavinga out, Bellingham out, Ceballos out, we are scraping the barrel in midfield. And now Mastantuono, who was supposed to be part of the solution, is unavailable for Celta and presumably the next match too. Arbeloa must be absolutely tearing his hair out.
Although, to be fair, and I know you hate when I'm fair, Mastantuono hadn't really nailed down a consistent starting spot anyway. The fans debating this online seem split. Half are furious, half are saying he wasn't going to play much anyway. Calm down. The second group has a point.
Famous, he's a squad option we've now lost, in a week where we are already rotating through the academy like it's a youth tournament. But fine, let's talk about the one that's really breaking people's hearts today. Bellingham has flown to London for a second opinion on his knee.
Right, and the fan reaction to this has been interesting because it's not panic, it's dread. There's a difference. Panic is loud and immediate. Dread is quiet and heavy. The comments I've been reading are things like, I don't like this, and second opinions are never good news and remind anyone else of Alaba.
Madre mia, the Alaba comparison. That one stings because we all remember how that started. Careful language, second opinions, evaluating all options. And then boom, career-altering injury. I don't want to go there with Bellingham. I genuinely don't.
The official line is still mid-April return, which would mean he's back for the tail end of the season. Copa, potentially Champions League knockouts, but the London trip has people nervous that the timeline might be getting quietly revised upward. And Madrid fans have been burned enough times to read between the lines.
One comment that really got me, someone wrote, at this point, Bellingham, Mbappé, and Rodrigo are like that one group project member who just keeps sending messages saying they'll start tomorrow. And look, I laughed, but also, Tio, that's brutal.
It's gallows humor, which is where this fan base goes when it's genuinely scared. And I think people are scared. Not about Celta Vigo specifically, but about the bigger picture. Are we losing Bellingham for longer than we're being told? Because if so, the summer planning looks completely different.
And then there's the Mbappé situation, which has taken yet another twist. He's apparently now in the hands of Bertrand Sonnery-Cotet, the French doctor who operated on Ibrahimovic, who treated Benzema, who has basically seen the inside of every elite footballer's knee at some point. And the fans are... Honestly, what are the fans making of this one, Maria?
Mixed. And I mean genuinely mixed. Not just some are positive and some are negative. You've got one camp saying this is actually good news. If you're bringing in the best surgeon in France, you're getting serious about fixing this properly, rather than rushing him back. The other camp is saying, why does he need a specialist surgeon if this is just a muscle injury?
That second camp is keeping me up at night, honestly, because the official communication on Mbappé has been return unknown for weeks now. Unknown. Not 3 weeks, not a month. Unknown. And now a specialist surgeon. That is not the language of a straightforward injury.
There was a fan comment yesterday, actually someone quoted it on Twitter, that said Mbappé's injury timeline has more mystery than a Netflix series and less resolution. And look, that's funny, but it captures the frustration perfectly. The club just won't be straight with the fan base about what's happening.
Remember, 2 episodes ago we talked about Mbappé's gym selfie and how fans were reading it like tea leaves? Well, now we've got actual medical news and people are still doing the same thing. Analyzing every word, every doctor's name, every Instagram post. Because the official channels give us nothing.
Which brings me to the Allegri rumor, because I think it's connected. Italian press putting Allegri in Madrid's orbit for next season, alongside what sounds like a German candidate. And a small but vocal section of the fan base has started making noise about Arbeloa again, not because he's done anything wrong this week, but because the squad is a wreck and results are sliding.
Wenger, I want to push back on that a little. Last episode, we covered the Getafe fallout and the Florentino dimisión chants, and yes, that was ugly. But this week's mood feels slightly different to me. People are less angry at Arbeloa and more resigned to the injury situation. Like they've accepted the squad is broken and they're just waiting for reinforcements.
That's fair. The Allegri talk isn't fire Arbeloa now energy. It's more Florentino is already planning the exit energy, which is a different thing. And honestly, with the season looking increasingly difficult, you can understand why the president might be doing contingency planning, even if it feels disloyal to say out loud.
There's also, and I think this is getting lost in all the injury noise, there's a really interesting subplot with Lamine Fati apparently catching the coaching staff's eye. A young, left-sided centre-back from the academy, reportedly in contention for the Celta Vigo squad. After Pitar last week, after Gonzalo Garcia this season, is this Arbeloa's actual philosophy now?
I think necessity and philosophy have become the same thing at this point, which is either inspired or terrifying, depending on your perspective. But I'll say this, the fan reaction to the academy kids has been consistently warm. Even after the Getafe loss, nobody was blaming Pitarch. People are genuinely charmed by the La Fabrica story, even as the results hurt.
Hala Madrid, and that's something, isn't it? Because this fan base can turn fast. We saw it Friday with the Florentino chants. But when it comes to the kids, there's this protective instinct. Nobody wants to be the person who boos a teenager making his debut. There's still something beautiful happening in amongst all the chaos.
Right. And Celta Vigo on Friday is going to be another test of exactly that. Iago Aspas at the Bernabeu, a team fighting for their lives in La Liga, and Madrid showing up with a patched-together squad and whatever Arbeloa can cook up tactically. Buckle up.
You know what, Tio? I've said it before, and I'll say it again. This squad is battered, suspended, injured, and apparently scattered across 3 countries visiting different doctors. And I still believe, maybe that makes me an idiot, but vamos, that's Madridismo.
That's Madridismo, or therapy avoidance. Hard to tell the difference sometimes. We'll be back Friday before Celta. Don't miss it. Take care of yourselves out there.